Hello and welcome to another edition of Neo's Arcade News. I have a brief update for you tonight about the Basic Fun Counter Series WrestleFest, in particular the A and B button simultaneous press issue, and I have an example of Basic Fun listening. I said before that they've been listening. Now we may have an answer to this particular problem, and again, because they've been listening, I think we're going to get this one addressed. Let's get into it. So I'd like to thank John Springer, who contacted me about this particular issue. It's actually over the weekend, and I wasn't home, and I didn't actually get his message right away, but I did see some of the groups starting to talk about this issue, where with the Counter Series product, the WrestleFest product from Basic Fun, there seems to be an issue where a simultaneous A and B button press was not registering correctly. And that would result in the inability of characters to dash in the WrestleFest and Superstars game, and a problem as well in Super Dodgeball. So, of course, that's a play issue. You can't play the game properly if you can't get your button presses registered as they should be. I didn't exactly know what was causing this, and again, thanks, John, for reaching out and kind of spurring me into action on this to contact Basic Fun on your and the community's behalf. So I did contact them today, and kind of in the meantime, I was sort of theorizing about what could be going on. Some of you will know in the past I've had issues with encoder boards, things like that. I was one of the people that had the infamous Arcade 1-Up Tempest cabinet, and I went through at least 4, maybe 5 encoder boards that just never functioned properly. They'd stop working after about a month or two. So I'm familiar with encoder board issues. I thought maybe, too, there could be an issue where there's a different type of encoder board used on the Counter Series versus the Ultra Series, because the Ultra Series does not seem to have the same registration issue, which is strange. So maybe there's a difference in encoder boards. I'm not really sure what. I wouldn't think the software would be different, but perhaps it is, or perhaps the way it interfaces with the board is different. In any event, didn't really know. I don't think anybody in the community really knew. But tonight, and to their credit, I received an update from a high-level executive at Basic Fun, one of my main contacts, the same person that you've heard me talk about before. And I appreciate them continuing to be in touch and let us know kind of what's going on from their end of things. And this person did tell me that, yes, we are aware. It is a programming issue. We have a fix for it, and we will be giving an official update tomorrow. So there you have it. It is an issue they're aware of. It appears to be a programming-related issue, and they're going to have an update for us tomorrow. I did ask a little bit about what that might look like and whether or not it's the type of issue or type of patch that can be sent over, hopefully the existing, I believe it's a micro USB port on that cabinet, and they did indicate that that's what they're working toward. I think thanks to some people that own this cabinet, I think P-Dubs was maybe one of the first people to give it a good look. I think he confirmed there is no micro SD card slot on that particular unit. I believe it is a micro USB. But these products all seem to be slightly different for some reason, different cases, different like PCB layouts. I think some have USB, some have a micro SD slot, some maybe have both. This one, I think, only has a micro USB, so it's likely going to be a case where you're hooking something up, from your computer right into the back of the Counter Series product itself. Again, none of these cabinets have Wi-Fi. That is actually something I asked about in future products that's come up before. And, they kind of playfully asked, well, the cost of all these different technologies and things have gone up. They sort of asked, would you be willing to spend an extra $20 or so just to get Wi-Fi? And I kind of jokingly replied, well, if you throw in a coin door at the same time, I probably would. Honestly, we'd all prefer not to have to pay more for those things, especially if competitors like Arcade 1-Up can basically deliver the same thing at the same price without charging more. They can deliver basically the same size product without charging more for these individual little features. And I shouldn't call them little, but they're individual features that we've gotten used to. So it remains to be seen exactly what's going to happen with that. But I think Basic Fun is going to have to be competitive in this way, particularly while they still have competitors in the market. That's an expectation of this consumer group. And we're seeing now where not having Wi-Fi in particular can be an issue. Never mind the online communities, Wi-Fi is great just for updates, if nothing else. So I think it's something they need to seriously consider. In the meantime, it does sound like they are working on a fix, and we should be hearing something official tomorrow. Today is Monday the 20th, so I'm hopeful that on Tuesday at some point in the day, we will hear what exactly can be done for these products that will fix this issue. Again, it does seem like a programming-related issue, not necessarily a hardware one, although hardware may be a component of that since, again, we're not seeing the same issue in the Ultra series for some reason. But hopefully, whatever the patch is will address this. Now, I did ask, are there other updates coming? Are there other updates that are going to be included in this one, in this particular patch? I did not get a reply to that yet. That does not mean that there won't be. It just means that I didn't hear back. So it's entirely possible we'll see more than this, whether it's now or perhaps in the future. I don't know. I think we are going to have to be very specific about what the issues are. Like, you can't just say, oh, there's glitches without saying what specifically is glitching. I know some of you have been doing that. And I think to your credit, that's exactly the kind of feedback we need to be providing, very specific instances that can be replicated so they know exactly what's happening and can hopefully work on addressing it. But I will say this, to me, is a positive step in the right direction. Some folks have said, they're just going to ignore it, sell as many units as they can. Of course, they want to sell as many as they can. It's a business. They're there to make a profit, and that's how they're going to stay in business. But they are showing signs that they have listened to the community, and they do want to try to, fix things where they can. I think that's, again, a very positive thing, and we'll hopefully hear more about that tomorrow. So that's all I have for now. Thank you for joining me today on another edition of Neo's Arcade News.